Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us for this special live session. I'm Itzik Amiel, and we are here with another Strictly Switch interview series called Switch It On, where we talk to smart and talented people about how you could switch on your practice and even your life. And you're very invited. So if you're watching now, this is live, and I encourage you to come and join us. It will be amazing, interesting conversation. I promise you, and I have amazing guests today. And I can see you all joining. So thank you for that, Rajesh and David and Alex, Diana and Mayan and Moriko and Dando, Shebilin and Bajay and Do and Jay and Alex. And thank you for all of you joining. Please let us know who you are, where you're dialing from. Because not only me want to know, each of us, including my guests. Today we are going to talk about, and you probably read the promo, but we talk about journey behind specialization. Somebody asked me what is about. So you're going to find more, but in other words, is how to succeed while juggling different balls. I mean, a lot of you had this question, and you have a lot of talent, you do a lot of things. Can you succeed? And I'm telling you again, without a doubt, it will be a powerful episode because you'll see people who are doing it while we're talking about it, still doing it. Again, if you have any question during this session, please put it also in the chat under the video, and I would love to put your question in front of my guest. And of course, type your name, where you're dialing from, also there. So I want live to know that you are with us. Don't be shy of it. This is one person branding, and you want to use it. Okay. I have the honor to have this live session with not one, but two expert entrepreneurs. And I should call them also friends because each one of you were with me could be their friends, never maintained a relationship. I did. And I got two new friends in my life. So today, my special guests are Marcin, I hope I pronounced your family name right, Petrykowski, and Aleksandra, Ola Petrovskaya. And I don't know if I pronounced it right. They're going to correct me soon, I know, but don't worry about it. So before I invite Marcin and Ola to join us, let me give you some highlights about them because, as you know, I don't like to do it in front of my guests. Behind the back is always easier. So let me start with Aleksandra Petrovska. Ola. So Ola is a Polish lawyer, focused on her practice, focused on international M&A. She's part of the top 25 women lawyers in business list by Forbes magazine. Ola is the founder of PSM Legal, and she is also currently a PhD candidate. Besides all of these amazing achievements, Ola is focused on empowering women and supporting Ukrainian refugees. And you probably saw a lot of things. If you check your profile on LinkedIn and everywhere else, you're going to see the amazing stuff she's doing and all the stuff she's devoting for this good cause as well. My second guest is Marcin Petrykowski, and you're going to ask him later why they're joining together to let you know. But Marcin is a seasoned international business professional with over 2 decades of experience managing operational activities, go-to-market and growth strategies for global capital market institutions, tech enterprises, and regional ventures. He currently serves as a CEO and president of management board for Attenda SA, a technology group listed on the Warsaw Stock Exchange. In addition to that, he performs as a senior advisor role to Vauban Infrastructure's partners, supporting its partners and supporting his all partners in Central and Eastern Europe, the CE strategy. Martin also has extensive experience in the field of technology and digital economy and is considered the leading voice in the digital technology, new economy, and capital market space in Poland and the CSE region, and I'm sure much beyond that as well, including today. So, and here's another important fact though, Martin is also, I think, Ola's husband, if I'm not sure. But you'll find it sure. You'll see if they're gonna kiss and hug, they probably have relationship. If not, they're just standing next to each other. We're gonna find it out together. Okay, so I want to welcome Martin, Ola, and Aleksandra, Ola, for joining us. So here they are. Thank you for joining
Thank
us,
you.
Martin.
Hello, hello, Itzik. So nice to be with you during that discussion interview, and we are feel very privileged, very happy, and that you are having us now.
Me too. I must admit that the first time we met each other is almost a year ago. I mean, I didn't even knew that a year later we'll be together and stuff. And I think that's again the power of follow up and keeping relationship and finding how amazing human we both are. And I think it's a privilege to me to host you and see to all my international community around the world how how amazing people you learn and you miss opportunity if you don't devote to find everybody come your way. So I'm happy for that as well. And it's great to have you here. And again, thanks for your time and for your valuable time and for what you're going to share with us. But with your permission, let me set the stage for our conversation right away, if that's okay with you. Because I always believed that starting multiple businesses can be a daunting task. No, but it can also be incredibly rewarding, as we all know. Because being involved in multiple businesses give you more ways to make money, a better balance between work and life, and really access to more resources and talent. But I'm aware that some people think differently about it. I heard people saying, in the past that trying to focus on too many activities or too many businesses at the same time really actually do more harm than good. Really, I will ask. And this is exactly the reason for this special session with Martin and Aleksandra, because I want all of you who told me those ideas during the year that you should not focus on different things and you will harm yourself, listen carefully to this episode. Because I want you to help you to think differently, to help you understand that it is to do more beyond your area of specialization as a professional and as I said before. So we're going to hear to do. And as I share my short interest about you, Martin and Ola, each one of you involved in many activities, and I think I'm even made a shortening of it. There's so much more there to share. So the first question I'm asking for everybody is if you can share with us what is the story? What is going on? Are you trying different things and didn't succeed, or you succeed so many things at the same time? What's going on? What is your story?
Okay, so I'm gonna start if I
All right,
can.
please.
Okay, so telling you like a brief story about myself. So as you mentioned, I'm the founder of the law firm. Simultaneously, I'm proceeding my PhD. As well, I co-founded the NGO which is supporting the Ukrainian refugees, and co-founded one of the biggest social campaign in Poland, which was encouraging Polish women to amplify their voice in a campaign, in the last parliamentary campaign. So that is true that it's quite a lot of like a very different path which I am proceeding right now. And obviously there is like one perception, so that like obviously maybe, okay, from one side I'm not focused on one path, or maybe even on two paths, like scientific and professional, like my law firm. But so this is true that probably if I would be more focused on only on my legal professional path, maybe I would be more success than I am now. But we need to remember that especially now when we are talking about the legal profession, that is, as you know, you're an expert in this field. Yes, we are not like the lawyers who are mostly success currently are not the lawyers who are focused only on one path. Yes, and like we need to remember, especially the young generation, then that like a classic traditional lawyer is not the profession who will, like, earn the highest amount of money, and like, be more like the most prestigious, etc., etc., because obviously there is AI, there is like all this legal tech, and like, all the machines and everything which probably will replace us. So like I would say that we even need to, and we have to find, and we need to seek on some less traditional and more unconventional legal path to follow, as otherwise we will be just like, one of the, I don't know, 100 good lawyers in Poland who are proceeding with M&A law. Yes, so I would say that it's not that definitely this is the advantage, and especially when I am simultaneously proceeding with different paths, this is even the advantage for each of this path, that for instance when I co-founded my law firm, then afterwards I knew how to co-found the NGO, for example. Yes, so definitely it's not disadvantage, and I would say that you need to be somehow open for a broader perspective.
I so much agree with you that in our generation, I mean, if you're a lawyer multi-talented, that's time to celebrate. I mean, I always ask them, I wish I was born in that time to be a lawyer, because I escaped law firm because I wanted to do different things, and you only can do law. and I could do many things. And I always used to tell my boss, relax, you pay me one salary and you can get five people. And I think people who have exactly what you said, different talent, different interests, could more succeed nowadays than those who are very narrow-minded, only focus only on law and delivering good legal skills, and that's it. Martin, your story.
Cool. Thank you very much. Great to be here with
You're
you. So I think
welcome.
my story is
I
a bit
also
different.
I also tried to find the influence between you two, but continue.
Yeah. So I think, my story is a bit different because I've been in business for like over 20 years. And indeed, one principle that I followed is a principle of constant evolution. The world is changing at an extremely fast pace. And we no longer live in a time of full specialization. This is a time where trends appear from nowhere, and people, like, individuals need to be far more holistic, far more curious, and far more able to respond accordingly. So what I've always done is, rather than sticking to only one core activity, I always try to add additional roles, which would give me synergies, which would build transferable skills, and what most importantly would allow me to have a far more holistic view of the world. Because, as I mentioned, the world no longer is as simple as it used to be. So, I spent 20 years working for like big US firms, and when I was working for even in that environment, I always had like a non-executive role on the side. I was involved in some kind of whether it was a foundation, whether it was an NGO, just to be sure that I see what's happening outside of the beaten track. Today, my case is, again, even more extreme, because not only do I manage indeed a public listed entity, I work with a large asset manager on their strategy for Central Eastern Europe. But on top of that, I'm also involved in a few undertakings which are more like NGO foundation type. Yeah. And as said, for me, this is an ability to really build a profile which is far more overarching than a standardized typical corporate type of a person, within my space. Yeah. So there is a lot of upside from it. I fully agree, and you've mentioned it in between the lines. There is a bit of downside. It requires management. It requires a lot of attentiveness. It requires a lot of diligence, and sometimes it is a stress due to the fact that you are just stretched between commitments. But end of day, the ability to, in a way, at the same time, live a few professional lives is extremely valuable, enriching, and satisfactory. Yeah, especially, as said, for people that are curious, that are keen to make sure that they look at the world far more holistically. And I think that's the key message here. The key message is that, no longer do we live in a world that values only, one size fits all type of an approach. Now it's far more important to really be able to have a more comprehensive view, and even, within, and I think this is a message that can be conveyed also to people that work within one company. There are ways how you can multitask. There are ways how you can perform additional tasks within your existing role. What we need to do is we need to raise our hands, we need to have the energy, and we need to have the drive in order to move out of the comfort zone. And I think that's the most challenging thing. So I think, my story, it's all about moving out of the comfort zone, moving between industries. I was an investment banker, then I was heading up, like the largest global rating agency, and then I decided to move into tech, and in parallel, do stuff that I haven't done before. It's an extremely refreshing, it's an extremely challenging, and extremely, I would say, eye-opening type of an experience. And I think that's the best essence of why I can bring this story to our hopefully also interested in this topic viewers.
Thanks a lot, Martin. Thanks, Ola. I mean, I think something in common I noticed in both stories that while in the past, I think when you do all this work together at the same time, businesses, you were almost manifesting your personality. What I hear from both of you, in nowadays, is not even a choice; it's a must. Because if you want to stand out, if you want to succeed, you have to have multi-talented things. Because otherwise, you'll be gone and nobody will notice you. And the world is crowded. Even in legal industry, everything is crowded. And if you're just doing one thing, it'll be gone. And the second thing, of course, as I again you hear between the way you speak and tell your story, it's let you feel more happy in everything you're doing. You enjoy because all those things, in the end of the day, because you're involved in all of them, help you understand or deeper your understanding in each of the subjects. So the
Mm.
fact that you do multifaceted things give you different strategies, different connections, different ideas that link to each other if you want it or not, because you are involved in all of them. So I,
Yeah.
I like that. Thanks a lot for that. I mean, I just want to say thanks to all of you joining us right now. We love it. It is live, and we are here. I'm talking again to, if you have a question, by the way, put it right away under the video, and feel free to type a question for Martin and Ola, because I would love to ask your question. You're invited to learn here about journey behind specialization. That's the title of today, and
I
what
think
what
just
to
one
share.
thing to add to what you've mentioned. I
Sure,
think
sure.
important to make that that analysis is that you mentioned success and you mentioned recognition in a way, yeah, which I agree with. But like how to measure success, it's difficult. Yeah, it's not always easy to really underline, are you successful, are you not successful? Hence, I would look at this process more as an investment. For me,
Mm,
adding additional components to my core is an investment. It's an investment that I don't know when it's going to pay off. It might pay off immediately, it might pay off midterm, or sometimes it actually might pay off long term. Yeah. So it's an ability to like it's in a way constantly embarking on an MBA journey, but it's
yeah.
just a practical MBA. Yeah. It's a practical MBA. I think the greatest example, and you're by the way very good at it, is like public speaking. There's a lot of people that have reservation towards public speaking and they tend not to do public speaking. Well, the best way to overcome that is by doing it, is by moving out of the comfort zone, entering that territory. So it is an investment for me, adding these additional layers. But one thing very important: balance. Yeah, you cannot overdo it. There needs to be a balance. Yeah, end of day, we want to be focused and we want to be attentive to what we do. So this is not a story about adding a multiple at the expense of quality for the
Mm,
individual task that you're involved in. It's a matter of building a model, and everyone will have a different model. Every person will have a different capacity. For some people, multitasking will be 5 roles at a time. Look at big entrepreneurs. Look at the likes of, I don't know, Elon Musk, who is in parallel running a few big top tier companies. That's a great example of like that. That's definitely not specialization. It's a very overarching way of looking at the world. But there are people that are going to be only able to handle 2. It's great as long as you look at it as an enriching process of constant self-investment and really an ability to move outside of your existing shell, your existing comfort zone. Because as said, the payoff will be there. It's just a matter of how you navigate it, how you plan it, to assure that it follows some kind of a trajectory that is meaningful and I would say appealing to you in the both today and for the future.
Okay, so guys, I need to add one thing, because what is very
sure.
important, because we have, I would say that we have a bit different perspective, because I'm a lawyer and transactional lawyer, which is very important in this discussion, and Martin is more from the business environment. Yes. And as you know the best, Itzik, that like the being a transactional lawyer is extremely demanding, especially in the first part of the career. Yes, when
Mhm.
you are like the junior, then like the associate, etc., etc. And like and it's extremely difficult or even impossible to like be focused on such a many things when you are on the like during the first part of your career and when you are a transactional lawyer. So I would say I would like to be very clear that like right now I have 15 years of my experience as a transactional lawyer, and I'm in the stage of my career that I can somehow I started to be like more comprehensive, because I could, but only after completing the first part, which is like which was like extremely challenging. And I would not definitely like advising to the junior lawyer, for instance, okay, do like 100 things like simultaneously, don't be focused, like go with passion, go with emotion, go with heart. No, like I would say that especially in my activity as a transactional lawyer, I would say that my advice would be to be rather focused during the first part of the career, and then of course you are able to be more like open, and you can start to do some other things. But definitely like do like simultaneously like 10 things like from the very very beginning. I don't know if you will be successful at the end. Yes. So you need to be somehow open from the beginning. You need to be like very flexible from like very beginning. But like still I would say that the first part, you need to be more focused. Yes, you need to be more focused, because as you know, you need to complete your bar training, you need to get some experience, etc., etc. Right now I have my transactional experience, I have my amazing network, which I can use in a different spheres of my activities, like you know, like my philanthropic activity, like my social campaigns, like women empowering or mentoring or whatever. Yes, but like, to be very honest, I don't know like if I would be able to like be such a comprehensive professional like 15 years ago. Probably not. So it's a, I would say that, you know, it's we have a different perspective. Yes, and especially with my profession, it's you should be more focused on the beginning. Yes, so that is, if I can like provide some kind of advice, I
Sure.
would add this issue.
But I think you're not disagreeing. You actually, bottom line is the same. It's just as you said, if you focus on one thing and get it done very well, it's easier, as you said in your case, to open a charity. That's the thing, because you already have the tools, connection, the ideas, or the fears maybe gone away. But on the other hand, if you know, if you, as I said before, if you look at it in timing wise, maybe if you're born in our days and now you start your career, maybe you think differently. Maybe not. Maybe so, you know what, focus still on your law degree or whatever, or your career, make it good, make it happening, and then look. But on the other side, I will say maybe you're missing something. If you wait 10 years and opportunities to manifest the other thing you want to do will go away, you won't be beneficial anymore to the world. So I mean, it's always good timing. But the bottom line, none of you said focus on one thing and that's it. I
Yeah,
mean, even Martin said if you're focusing on two, he didn't say focusing on one. So I already see that these more than one is always better. If you have 100 or 20 or two, it's still more than one.
Yeah, and you know, look also at it as a hedge, as a hedging strategy. Yeah, because sometimes
Okay.
the role that you undertake might not either survive, or you might not survive in that role. Such things happen. You know, we need to also be aware that sometimes we need to accept failures that happen, such as life.
Hmm.
Actually, failures very often enrich us. So by having the liberty and the comfort and the stretch to undertake a few endeavors at the same time in a controlled manner gives you a natural ability to hedge yourself, because if one of these activities fails or doesn't reach your goals as you anticipated to when you started, you still have this other, you know, leg, arm, however we call it, that can allow you to pivot relatively quickly to a new sphere, which you would not be able to do if you would only focus within one space. And I think, you know, the point that Ola made is probably a bit more relevant from when you started. I think today, in the world of, you know, fast moving trends and technological shifts and all of that, you know, when we look at people starting their careers, they also need to be far more open to look at auxiliary activities on top of what they do. You know, a great example, like you mentioned, law will undergo a significant technological change driven by AI, driven by language models, driven by automation. Yeah. So if you are a lawyer today and you forget to follow what's happening within that space, you might get disrupted. You might get more easily disrupted than a person that actually follows, understands, comprehends, and once a seismic shift happens, is more quicker to adopt because he or she already had a chance to understand, you know, basics, fundamentals of how that world operates. I think, you know, today's world is this is what I opened up with. Yes, I think, you know, we live in a bit of a different universe now. It's far more quicker. It's far more open, and industries collide. Yeah, like
Hmm.
sometimes back in the days you did banking, like you had nothing to do with technology. Today, if you're in banking, you are in technology. It's like more or less the same industry. It's, of course, in banking there's the balance sheet, there's risk, but technology is the backbone. If you don't understand technology, if you're in banking, you're missing out. Yeah, you will not become, like, you know, as you call it, successful. You will not have an impact. So more and more industries collide today. If you're like in medicine today, technology is stepping in. Yeah, new ways, new treatment, new ways of using, different measures, how to address issues that were so far never looked at it from that angle. So I think today's world even more calls for curiosity, stepping out of the comfort zone and looking at things through different vantage points, because these vantage points come together and they allow you to build a strategy of investing for the future, as the future no longer is as certain as it used to be when, all of us, the three of us, started. Yeah, the days were different then.
Absolutely. I get already comments that people loving, and Matsuka said, love the different perspective. That definitely is an alignment in what you're both saying. It is indeed. And I think more lawyers who are listening to us right now should realize that we have to start thinking as a business owners, not anymore as unique. And as you see, everything mingle together. So it was very practical to the point, both what you said. I just wanted to dive a little bit more in because our time is running away. And first of all, I'm here for those who do not know, with Marcin Petrykowski and Aleksandra Petrykowska. Please tell me if I'm making it wrong, the name.
It's not about the names, don't worry.
Yeah.
Speaking about journey beyond specialization. And again, thank you for all of you joining us. If you're interested to learn more about them and you want to connect them, please do me a favor, connect them on LinkedIn, and you can check their LinkedIn profile and their website and more what they're doing, all the awesome things they're doing, because I know we're not going to cover everything today. And of course, if you want to make sure you never miss one of the weekly Switch On interview series, follow me on LinkedIn or go to the Switch Up website. You can sign up, get my business development strategies and tips. You'll be added to an email list where you will be a regular reminder about our fantastic guests like today, so you're never going to miss it. So let's continue about these practical topics, journey beyond specialization. Because, building your professional practice is, I always believe, like entrepreneurship, and maybe more people discovering now. And entrepreneurship, everybody know, is it challenging? By exciting and fulfilling journey, it's still challenging. And there's so much, of course, as you said, Martin and Ola, to learn, to figure it out, to decide upon that opportunities to expand your mind. That actually nearly really seem to stop. You're a student for life, as you said, MBA for life. You're always learning. And I know that you have some practical advice on this subject. So my question here, and I know a lot of people want to listen to it, can you share with us some action steps that can help professionals follow the same approach that you took, maybe from your perspectives?
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to start?
I'm happy to start. Yeah. So I think the power of three. So let's focus on three. One is look outside. Don't focus on what you do only. Look at the world outside of what you do. If you are in law, but you are working, for example, with, I don't know, industrial companies, have a meaningful eye on what's happening in that industry. Understand it. Like, look outside. Don't only focus on what you're good at and what you are accustomed with. Constantly challenge yourself to look outside. Like the world is happening outside of your organization. It's not happening within. Yeah, that's a very important fundamental point to focus on. So look outside. Second is constantly stretch yourself to move out of the comfort zone. Like, have a model that you don't settle for what you're good at, but you continuously find areas that that you want to develop, want to build upon, whether that's playing soccer or doing public speaking, as we said, or interested or learning about tech. So have this regular habit of stretching yourself to find ways to move outside of the comfort zone. Yeah, because that's a matter of ambition, that's a matter of investment, and a matter of making sure that your mind constantly is stretched. And third, last, is dedicate time to looking at things differently. For example, dedicate like 1 hour per week that you put into your calendar and call it, I don't know, you said it, like the startup of me, or like innovation, or like pivoting. Yeah, and have this 1 hour of time every month in your every week in your calendar. And despite you have a meeting, you say, guys, sorry, I'm booked. On Friday at 3:00 is my 1 hour when I think about the direction I want to take, what I want to do, these type of things, because that routine will give you an ability to deliver upon this. If we're very busy, everyone is super busy. So if we don't find a dedicated slot for what we believe in and how we want to move, how we want to advance, it's very difficult to, in the scheme of all of our everyday activities, deliver upon it. Yeah. So I said, look outside, be focused. The world isn't only about what you do today. There is a world out there which is super interesting. Take from it, get inspiration, talk to startups, talk to different, communities, and from there you will be able to find what you're interested in. Second, continuously stretch yourself, move out of the comfort zone, make that a habit, make that muscle, constantly exercise. And third, don't only talk, but also, make sure that you have a regular slot, point in time that you focus in, do a bit of work, and just focus on what is important. And that is, as we said it, the journey of discovery, but in a very planned way. Those would be my 3 points to put out there for people to potentially think about.
Okay, right. So I mean, just to add on the last point, I mean, you better maybe even put the time in the time nobody calls you, maybe early in the morning, that nobody can move it away, that you won't be disturbed and you're not committed to it. So thanks for that. Hola.
That's why I'm just gonna say that's why a lot of the tech entrepreneurs wake up at 5 o'clock. Yeah, like if you talk to your,
according to the Chinese structure,
because
which is super healthy and super efficient. Yes,
because from 6 to 8, nobody bothers them with phone calls, and they can think about strategy, all of the things we said. Exactly.
5 a.m. club, as we call it. Go ahead, Ola.
Yeah. Okay, so what I would add more from a legal perspective. So definitely the first point I would say that build your network. It's very important. Always build your network and always stay open for new things and because I was in the first part of my career, I was mainly focused on my M&A law, yes, companies law, yes. And for instance, right now, when I sometimes devote myself to the human rights, for instance, yes. Right now, it would be nice to have the expertise in a litigation, for example, yes. And I don't have much of the litigation experience because I was mainly I was only the transactional lawyer. So what is very important, don't be that much specialized in a legal life, yes. Of course you need to have the specialization because obviously you cannot be the expert in each legal field, yes, but you need to practice some other fields. You need to be open because you never know what kind of knowledge you will want to have, or you should to have in 10 years, for instance, yes, in my case. So build your network, continuous learning, as Marcin said, yes, learning, that is why I'm proceeding not right now, but for the last years I'm proceeding with my PhD, not because I need it, not because of the prestige or whatever. I just need to somehow force my brain, and I just really feel that I would like to proceed with continuous learning. So learning, be open for new things the technologies and everything, and build your network. This is very important.
Great, awesome tips. I mean, I'm waiting to hear all questions from you guys because before we summarize, because I know the time passed fast. There's so much to share, but I want to say a few words at the end. By the way, do you have anything to add before I'm going to give you some summary word and ask you anything else you want to add to the people that are listening to us right now?
Be bold. Be bold. Be bold. Seriously, be.
I mean, not bold like that. You mean bold?
Not bold like that. Exactly. Be adventurous, or maybe
exactly.
That's adventurous. Yeah. I think we all of us will regret what we have not done.
Yeah, that's true.
Rather than what we didn't manage to do. So I think that's super key. I think end of day. And what I love in the concept is I really love the concept of having an ability to, in a way, live different lives. What I love is that there are days that I need to switch between very different professional personas. And you really need to very quickly move from A to Z, in 1 minute, yeah? And that is extremely satisfying. That gives a lot of satisfaction. It stretches you immensely. Hence this gene of adventurousness and this gene of like stretching is I think extremely appealing, and in the long run, as said, it is an investment. It is an investment.
Yeah. So this is very true what Marcin just said, and definitely, well, I would just add one thing. So don't afraid to take risk. Don't treat the failures as a failure, but just treat them as a lesson. And obviously stay true with your values. This is very important, because like whatever I was doing as a transactional lawyer, as a PhD candidate, as a founder of the NGO for the Ukrainian refugees, it's always like, you know, I always follow the same values.
It's
So
called
this is very
integrity.
important.
Integrity.
Yeah.
Right. Love all the lesson. But if you allow me, I mean, what I get, and to summarize our discussion, is owning multiple businesses, even beyond your specialization, or if you are a professional, lawyer, or accountant, whatever, actually can pose a challenge for professionals. But there are actually, as you hear today, strategies you can employ to successfully juggle multiple businesses and make them all successful. If it's two, as I said, 10, 50, I don't care. But each person can do more than one, because if you won't do it, you will not manifest who you are, what you're doing here in this world. Maybe you just do it like I did. I was a good lawyer, but is what I wanted? No. And it took me many years. But now when you do what you do, everybody can see that. It's certainly possible to run multiple businesses successfully, but it requires, as we heard today, organization and discipline. Without these two, you'll have a chaotic lifestyle and you will not succeed in any of these things. And you can do it side by side, you can do it one after another, as long as you do it organized with a discipline and commitment. As we learned today, actually, with my super guests, Martin and Ola. But I also agree that this does not fit to every professional. So not everybody has, it's not a must to all of you, definitely for the old one, but definitely for the young one, I would say it's part of the new lifestyle. For me, going behind your area of specialization is definitely part of making your life more fulfilling, joyful, and I will add even more inspiring. And again, as we learned today for this powerful session with Martin and Ola, and to summarize this great session, let me share a quote that definitely can inspire many of you. A quote by Roy Bennett, who said, "You'll never change your life until you step out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Change begins at the end of your comfort zone." And that's actually what you heard today, because both of them went out of the comfort zone. And that's one of the reasons why you are successful, because you will not let yourself fail. You commit, you'll do it again and again and again. In the end, you'll be successful. So now, my friend, it's time to take action and implement everything you heard. We learned in this session. I suggest always listen to it again. There's so many diamonds, so many ideas, so many strategies out of their own experience. And I would suggest reach out to them. Maybe you have a nice conversation. Maybe they can give you tip or two, and you find another new relationship in his word. I've been here with Marcin Petrykowski and Aleksandra Petrykowska. And for now, I want to thank you, Martin and Ola. It's been fantastic, inspiring having you here. I know the time flies very fast, but thank you for everything you shared with us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much, Itzik. Thank you so much.
And all of us, Martin, Ola, and myself, want to thank each one of you that join us. If you watch the live, you watch the replay, thank you very much for the interest. Remember, next episode is next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Central European Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time. But now it's your time to switch on and start your journey beyond your specialization. And who knows what you will find there. I promise you, it will be magical. Bye for now, everybody.
Definitely good luck.
Thank you so much. Bye, Itzik. Thank you very much.